Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're unpacking a truly incredible story. It's a real-life tale of perseverance that, honestly, might just completely change how you view your own potential. The story is called From Tea Cellar to Pilot, and let me tell you, it is an absolute masterclass in defying expectations. Let's dive right in. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever had a dream that the world just laughed at? Really think about that for a second. Most of us, at some point, have harbored one of those impossible ambitions, right? Maybe it was a career path that seemed way out of reach, or a creative project people thought was a huge waste of time, or maybe a goal that didn't quite match the background you came from. And often, when we share these dreams, we get met with skepticism, or worse, outright mockery. Keep that personal feeling in mind, because it sets the perfect stage for the journey we're about to explore.
Part 1. A difficult beginning.
We start off with a young boy named Vivek. He lived in a really small village, and his family was in a pretty desperate financial situation. His father was chronically ill, so the heavy burden of running the household fell squarely on his young shoulders. Imagine this. Right after finishing his school day, Vivek couldn't just go play. He'd head straight to the local railway station to sell tea. He was dealing with intense exhaustion at an age where he should have just been a carefree kid. This wasn't a movie. It was an incredibly harsh, grounding reality of daily survival.
Part 2. Dream to touch the sky. Now, picture this. Every single day at that dusty, incredibly noisy railway station, Vivek would look up. He'd watch these airplanes flying way high overhead in the sky. And those brief moments, they ignited this powerful spark inside him. It led to this monumental internal promise. One day, I too will become a pilot. Just think about the sheer audacity of that goal for a kid literally covered in train soot, holding a heavy kettle of tea. It's just this stunning display of internal self-belief, completely detached from the reality on the ground.
But of course, the world rarely embraces that kind of audacity without a little pushback, right? The people in his village mercilessly mocked him. They'd point and laugh, asking, "How is a boy who sells tea going to become a pilot? And isn't that just how it goes?" The world tries to crush unlikely dreams by aggressively pointing out all the logical flaws. The villagers weren't necessarily evil people, they were just trapped in their own limited ideas of what was possible, and they projected those exact limitations right onto Vivek.
Moving on to Part 3. Struggle and hard work.
Here's the thing about Vivek, though. He didn't waste a single second arguing with those naysayers. He didn't try to use words to convince them. Instead, he took all of that friction and channeled it into a silent, absolutely relentless grind. His life literally split into two existences. By day, it was grueling physical labor, selling tea at the station to support his family. And by night, exhausting intellectual hustle. He'd be up studying late into the dark hours while all those doubters were fast asleep. He was burning the candle at both ends, doing whatever it took to turn his impossible dream into something inevitable.
Naturally, living like that brought on immense, unseen difficulties. We're talking severe physical exhaustion, moments of deep, dark self-doubt, and massive financial hurdles just to afford his education while barely scraping by. But through all of that noise, the guy never gave up. He just refused to abandon his vision. And having the sheer resilience to push through that messy, unglamorous middle part of a journey, that is exactly what separates the people who just dream from the people who actually achieve. When you take a step back and really look at it, there's a very clear progression here. It started with that harsh reality of selling tea, which sparked this incredibly bold dream. Then came the execution phase, literally day and night hard work, which ultimately bridged that massive gap to his final realization, actually becoming a pilot. Seeing it laid out like this really demystifies success, doesn't it? It shows how steady, phased dedication can make the unbelievable suddenly totally attainable.
And that brings us to Part 4, the flight of success.
So, fast forward a few years. Exciting news starts buzzing through Vivek's small village. A major, highly successful pilot is coming to visit them. Huge crowds gather at the local airstrip, just buzzing with anticipation. The airplane lands, the door opens, and when a young man steps out, wearing this crisp, sharp uniform. It was Vivek. The utter shock that must have washed over that crowd. It's almost hard to fathom. The wildly successful man stepping out of that aircraft was the exact same boy they used to point at and laugh at.
The very same people who mocked him were now standing there, literally forced to applaud his success. The mockery? That was temporary. But the achievement? That was permanent. Hard work and absolute self-belief truly made his dream come true, totally conquering all that external doubt. It just goes to show you that relentless dedication, when you pair it with unshakable belief in yourself, can overcome pretty much any societal limitation people try to throw your way.
Vivek completely defied his circumstances. He ignored the laughter, he put in the grueling hours, and he finally took his flight. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to turn the question directly back to you. When will your flight begin? Seriously, stop letting the fear of being mocked hold you back. Tap into a bit of Vivek's relentless dedication and start chasing down your own impossible dreams today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.